everyone, welcome to Yaka, and I'm your host, Zun. Have you ever noticed how we often worry about timing in our daily life? Like, when is the best time to change jobs? When's the right moment to confess your feelings to someone you like? Or even when to buy a house or start a business? We are always thinking, when is the right time? But the question is, what exactly is this right time? Can we really identify and seize it? Today, we are going to dive into this topic. Is there really such a thing as the right time? Alright, first off, let's talk about what we mean by the right time. Have you noticed that whenever we are about to make a big decision, someone always says, wait for the right time? Like, if you tell a friend you are thinking of changing jobs, they might say, now is not the best time, maybe wait a bit. Or if you are thinking of telling someone you like them, others might advise, don't rush, wait for the right moment. Sound familiar, right? This idea of waiting for the right time seems logical because it suggests that if we just hold on a little longer, the universe will align and everything will be perfect. The conditions will be ideal and everything will fall into place. But let's think about this for a second. When was the last time everything in life aligned perfectly? Probably never, right? Life is unpredictable and things are constantly changing. This concept of a right time is often more about our need for comfort and control rather than a tangible reality. When we talk about the right time, we are usually talking about a moment when all external factors, the economy, personal readiness, emotional stability, and even other people's opinions align perfectly. But this is an idealized notion. In reality, there are always trade offs and compromise. The market may be down, but you might be more emotionally prepared, or your career might be stable, but the job market for your dream job might be highly competitive. There is always something that is not quite perfect. So we change our mindset a bit. Instead of waiting for a perfect moment, maybe what we need is the courage and determination to make decisions even when conditions are not ideal. That's the real key. Because sometimes waiting might cause us to miss out on opportunities, while those who succeed are often the ones who seize opportunities in uncertain times, even if the conditions are not perfect. Next, let's look at some historical examples to see if there is really such a thing as the right time. Let's start with the tech industry. We all know companies like Microsoft, Apple, and Google, right? They seem to have seized the right time to rise to the top, but can we really say their success was due to catching the right time? Actually, it's not that simple. Take Xerox for example. They were once a leader in tech innovation, developing the first personal computers back in the 1970s, along with things like graphical user interface and laser printers, technologies we take for granted today. But Xerox never became a tech giant like Apple or Microsoft. Why? Because they didn't capitalize on these innovations at the right time, allowing other companies to catching up. Does this suggest that seizing the right moment is more important than the technology itself? But let's flip it around. People like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs didn't just succeed because they were better at seizing the right time. They were also able to quickly respond to market changes, adapt their strategies, and seize market opportunities. So, success is not just about whether you act at the right time. What is more important is whether you can adapt quickly and effectively in action. For example, when Steve Jobs returned to Apple in the late 1990s, the company was struggling. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment to launch a new product, Jobs pushed forward with the development of the iMac, which became a huge success. He didn't wait for the market conditions to be perfect. Instead, he created products that reshaped the market. Now, let's look at timing in political decisions and warfare. During World War II, the Allied forces' D-Day invasion of Normandy is often cited as an example of perfect timing. But do you think this operation happened purely because it was the right time? The success of the Normandy invasion wasn't by chance. The Allies put a lot of effort into choosing the best time to land, including scouting enemy defense, analyzing weather conditions, and conducting repeated training drills for the troops. Eventually, they chose June 6, 1944 as a date for the invasion. This date seems perfect, but in reality, it was the result of meticulous planning and execution. So, the so called right time was something the Allies effectively created through careful preparation. This example shows that in complex situations, the right time is often created rather than waited for. The Allies didn't simply wait for the perfect day, they worked hard to create the conditions necessary for success. They took into account various factors such as tides, moon phase, and weather patterns. But they also knew that waiting too long could mean missing their opportunity altogether. So, whether in tech entrepreneurship or political decisions, the right time often isn't just a lucky combination of factors. It is more about whether you can seize opportunities in a complex and changing environment or even create the conditions for success through your actions. Instead of waiting for the perfect time, it is about making the perfect time through your efforts. Lastly, let's look at the art and culture fields. Many artists' work were not widely recognized during their lifetimes. Take Vincent van Gogh for example. He hardly saw any paintings while he was alive, but now his works are priceless. Can we say he simply missed the right time? Actually, Van Gogh's success is not because he missed a certain right time, but because his works were gradually recognized and appreciated over time. This means that in art, value is not necessarily tied to timing. Instead, it is often the passage of time that allows the true worth of art to be discovered and appreciated. So, in art and culture, instead of waiting for the right time, focus on the creation and refinement of your work. What you create today might be recognized and valued in the future. The key is persistent in creation rather than hoping for a perfect moment to arrive. Consider the case of Herman Melville, the author of Moby Dick. When the book was first published, it was not well received and was even considered a failure. But over time, Moby Dick became one of the most important works in American literature. Melville's work didn't succeed because he waited for the right time. It succeeded because it was strong enough to endure and be appreciated by future generations. Alright, now let's bring the discussion back to real life and look at how we often misunderstand the idea of the right time. First, in terms of career choices, have you ever felt like you should wait for the right time before changing jobs or starting a business? Maybe you think you should wait until you have saved enough money or until your company offers a better opportunity, right? But have you noticed that sometimes the perfect moment never comes? The market is constantly changing and opportunities can be fleeting. If you hesitate too long, the chance might be gone forever. For example, a certain industry boom might only last a few months. If you keep waiting for the right time, the opportunity might have already passed. So, what should we do? In career development, it is more important to seize opportunities, even if they don't seem perfect. Many successful people look back on their careers and say they took chances on opportunities that were not perfect. But their willingness to act is what led to their success today. So instead of waiting for the perfect time, be ready to act when opportunities arise. Think about the countless entrepreneurs who started their businesses during economic downturns. It might seem counterintuitive, but some of the world's most successful companies like Disney and Microsoft were founded during tough economic times. They didn't wait for the market to recover, they saw opportunities where others saw challenges. Let's talk about relationship. Have you noticed that many people also wait for the right time in love? They might wait until the relationship feels stable or until both partners' conditions align before confessing or getting married. This sounds reasonable, doesn't it? But can relationships really be calculated like a business deal? More often than not, relationships develop naturally rather than waiting for all conditions to perfectly align. For example, if you wait for the perfect time to confess your feeling, by the time you are ready, the other person might have lost interest or found someone else. The right time you were waiting for could actually lead to a missed opportunity, and you might be left wondering what could have been. In relationships, the right time is more about the natural progression of the connection between two people rather than perfect external conditions. Relationships are dynamic and can be unpredictable. The right time for one person might not be the right time for the other. And waiting for a conditions to align perfectly can sometimes cause unnecessary delays or missed opportunities. For instance, think about couples who have been together for years but keep postponing marriage because they are waiting for the right time when they are financially stable, have settled careers, and so on. But life doesn't always go according to plan. What if one partner gets a job offer in another city or experience a health crisis? Sometimes taking a leap of faith and committing to the relationship, even if everything isn't perfectly in place, can be more rewarding than waiting for an elusive perfect moment. Instead of waiting, focus on active communications and taking steps to strengthen the relationship. Sometimes your feeling can't be held back any longer. That's the right time. Being honest and open about your emotions can often bring clarity to the situation and help move the relationship forward. In the area of learning and self improvement, many people think, I will start learning when the time is right. They might wait until work is not so busy to sign up for a course or wait until their kids are older to pursue further education. However, this waiting might cause them to miss the best time to learn. Learning and self improvement is a continuous process, not something you should wait for a perfect moment to begin. Often, it is in the midst of busy work or life that learning new skills can be more effectively applied and practiced, leading to real growth. When you are already juggling multiple responsibilities, adding a new skill or pursuing education might seem daunting, but it is often during these challenging times that we grow the most. Think about it. When we are busy, we are forced to be more efficient with our time. We learn to prioritize, manage our resources better, and make decisions quickly. This environment of constant activity can actually enhance our learning experience. By integrating learning into our daily life, we can apply new knowledge immediately, which reinforce what we have learned and help us grow faster. For example, let's say you are working full time but want to learn a new language. Waiting until you have more free time might seem like a good idea, but in reality, life rarely gives us extra time. Instead, finding ways to incorporate language learning into your daily life routine, such as listening to podcasts during your commute or practicing with language apps during your lunch break. This can make the process more manageable and sustainable. So, don't rely on waiting for an idea to start learning and growing. Begin as soon as possible and integrate learning into your daily life. Rather than waiting for a day when you have enough time, start now and make learning a part of your routine. The best time to start improving yourself is always now. If the right time isn't as clear cut as we might think, how do we judge when it is time to take action? Here are a few criteria that might help you make better decisions. First, assess whether you are adequately prepared. Preparation doesn't just mean having the necessary material resources, such as funds or equipment, but also being mentally ready. Are you psychologically prepared for the challenges ahead? Have you gathered enough information to make informed decisions when difficulties arise? Being well prepared often gives you more confidence and reduce the anxiety associated with imperfect timing. For instance, if you are considering starting a business, beyond just having the capital and technical skills, you need to understand market demand, the competitive landscape, and potential risks. Adequate preparation can help you face the unknown with greater composure. So you don't have to rely on a so called right time. Preparation isn't just about logistics, it is also about mindset. Sometimes we might have all the resources we need, but if we are not mentally prepared, we can hesitate or make poor decisions. Mental preparation involves visualizing potential outcomes, considering worst case scenarios, and building the resilience to handle setbacks. It is about being ready to adapt and pivot when things don't go as planned. For example, let's say you have done your research and know the market well enough to start a business. However, if you are mentally unprepared for the stress, uncertainty, and potential failure that come with entrepreneurship, you might struggle to make decisions under pressure. Being mentally prepared means acknowledging that the road ahead will be tough, but being ready to face those challenges head on. Next, intuition can sometimes be a critical factor in determining the right time to act. Intuition isn't just a gut feeling, it is often based on your past experience and accumulated knowledge. When you are faced with a decision and your intuition tells you that now is the time to act, it might be worth paying attention to that feeling. Many successful entrepreneurs and decision makers emphasize the importance of intuition. Their intuition often stems from years of experience and deep understanding of their industry. So, when making crucial decisions, don't just rely on rational analysis. Sometimes listening to your inner voice is equally important. Intuition is a powerful tool, but it is important to recognize where it comes from. It is not magic or sixth sense. It is the brain way of drawing on past experience and knowledge to make quick decisions. For example, a seasoned investor might get a gut feeling about a stock based on subtle market signals they have seen before. This intuition is informed by years of observing patterns and outcomes. However, intuition should not be followed blindly. It should be balanced with rational analysis. If your intuition is telling you something, take the time to analyze why you feel that way. Is it because of a past experience? Is there data to back up your feeling? Combining intuition with careful thought can lead to more well rounded decisions. Finally, evaluating changes in the external environment can also be useful guide for timing. Factors like market trends, policy changes, or even societal shift can influence your decisions. To effectively evaluate external conditions, you need to stay attuned to the changes around you. For example, in investments, a change in government policy could impact market trends. In career choices, shift in industry demand might influence your job prospect. By staying informed and responding promptly to external changes, you can better judge whether it is the right time to take action. External conditions are often beyond our control, but they can significantly impact our decisions. Staying informed about these conditions requires continuous learning and awareness. For instance, if you are considering switching careers, understanding the current demand for skills in your target industry can help you determine whether now is the right time to make a move. Moreover, external conditions are not static, they are constantly evolving. This means that timing is often about being responsive rather than reactive. Being responsive means you are aware of trend and can adjust your plans accordingly. Being reactive means waiting until something forces you to change course, which might put you at a disadvantage. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, many businesses had to pivot quickly to adapt to the changing environment. Those that were responsive to the situation by shifting to online platform or changing their product offerings were more likely to survive and even thrive. Those that waited too long to react often struggle to catch up. To dive deeper into this topic, I looked into some research. Many psychologists believe that the desire to find the right time often stems from a fear of uncertainty. We hope that by waiting for a perfect moment, we can reduce the risk of failure. However, this often leads to procrastination and missed opportunities. Research suggests that success is not necessarily about seizing the right time, but rather about how individuals handle challenges and seize opportunities. For example, some successful entrepreneurs didn't wait for the market to fully mature before launching their products. Instead, they innovated and quickly react, taking the lead in the market. This concept of waiting for the right time as a way to avoid failure is deeply rooted in our psychology. We often equate the right time with certainty, believing that if all the conditions are perfect, our chances of success are higher. However, in reality, waiting for certainty often means missing out on opportunities that come with calculated risk. Think about the concept of analysis paralysis, where people overanalyze or overthinking a situation to the point that no decision is made. This often happens when we are waiting for the perfect moment to act, but sometimes taking imperfect action is better than taking no action at all. Moreover, those who are willing to embrace uncertainty and take calculated risks often find themselves at the forefront of innovation and success. They don't wait for the right time, they create it through their actions, adaptability, and willingness to learn from failure. After today's discussion, we can conclude that the right time is more of a subjective concept rather than an objective reality. We often find ourselves waiting for the perfect moment, but in reality, opportunities tend to favor those who take bold actions. This doesn't mean we should act recklessly or without thought, but rather that we should focus on preparation, be adaptable, and be willing to act even when conditions are not ideal. Instead of waiting for a perfect moment that may never come, it is better to act when you are adequately prepared. In real life, timing is often created through action rather than something that naturally falls into place. The perfect time is often a result of our willingness to move forward, make adjustments along the way, and learn from the outcomes, whether they are successful or not. I hope that after listening to this episode, you will have a new perspective on the idea of the right time, whether it is in career choices, relationships, or personal growth. We should focus more on our preparation and determination in the present rather than overly relying on the perfection of timing. It is about being proactive rather than reactive, about creating opportunities instead of waiting for them to appear. Considering asking yourself, what can I do now to prepare for the future? And what actions can I take today that might bring me closer to my goals? It is important to remember that taking small incremental steps toward your objective can often be more effective than waiting for one big perfect moment. In the end, success often comes to those who are willing to take risks, learn from their experience, and adapt to changing circumstances. Don't let the fear of imperfection or the pursuit of an elusive right time hold you back from pursuing your dreams or making important decisions. Alright, that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope today's discussion has given you some food for thought and encouraged you to take action, even when the timing is not perfect. Remember, it is not always about waiting for the right time. Sometimes it is about making the time right through your action. If you have any thoughts on this topic, feel free to leave a comment or share your thoughts on social media. Your feedback is really important to me. And who knows, maybe your ideas will be the topic of our next episode. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Oh Yaka so you won't miss out on any upcoming content. Thanks again for your support, and I will see you next time.